Our final guest speaker has over 30 years of work experience in the livestock and poultry industry. He is familiar in the poultry and swine industry in most countries in South and Southeast Asia. Knowledgeable on poultry, livestock, integration, sales, marketing, management, administration, poultry, and swine breeding and veterinary health. He became a country representative in Hungary. He also became the president of Highbig Poultry and Livestock Trading and Consultancy Services Incorporated. Was the area manager for Asia at Hypor BV/Hendrix Genetics of Boxmeer, in Uribird BV/Hybro BV Boxmeer, and also the technical manager for Asia at Uribird BV Boxmeer in the Netherlands. In 1988, he became a management trainee at Vitaridge Corporation Poultry Breeding Operations. He also worked as a breeder farm manager at Pure Foods Corporation and was the general manager for production and advisor to the president director at PT Sinta Maju Abadi Breeding Farm in Jakarta, Indonesia. In 1987, he graduated as a doctor of veterinary medicine at Fatima College of Veterinary, Philippines. He also passed the veterinary licensure examination given by the Professional Regulation Commission of the Philippines. Here to talk about the Philippine poultry industry outlook, let's welcome Dr. Evaristo Macalino Jr.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, e-agricom, for this opportunity for me to share and discuss the broiler and layer supply outlook that I have made using the life cycle model of forecasting, making use of the Bureau of Animal Industry's reported importation of live poultry breeder stocks and hatching eggs. LCM is a deterministic model wherein the resulting broiler and table egg production is determined by its direct relationship to the major variables like imported day-old chick, breeders and hatching eggs of grandparent stocks, parent stocks, and broiler hatching eggs placed during the past. Let me start by sharing with you an example of the Bureau of Animal Industry's report on poultry importation of breeders and hatching eggs in the year 2021, for which I have made use the breeder imports derived from their report from the year 2019 to 2022, as this will determine the production of broilers and layers the year 2021, 22, and onwards. Note that we have data on imported breeders that arrive as day-old chick, as well as data on the imported breeder hatching eggs that will produce GPS and parent stocks. I have marked the production lines encircled in blue that is important and will be used in determining the supply, production of GPS, parent stocks, and eventually the broilers. GP is live female line female, for product will be female parent stocks. GP female line female hatching eggs will produce female line female grandparent stocks. Parent stock female, the end product will be broiler DOC. Parent stock female line hatching eggs, end product will be the female parent stocks. Broiler hatching eggs, terminal, product will be the broiler DOC. Again, these breeders that arrive as live DOC and hatching eggs are important to determine the volume of broiler DOC and broilers to come up with a broiler production supply out. Showing here the genetic pyramid. Pedigree or pure line stocks are kept by the main genetic supplier. Grandparents, male line A and B, are bred for which we make use of the males as parent stock, and female line C and D, which are bred and we make use of the females as parent stocks. The product of breeding the parent stocks will be the commercials, day-old chick or day-old broiler. We go to the assumptions that I have used. What is important for you to know on the assumptions used? Growing depletion of both grandparent female line and female parent stocks of 12% up to 24 weeks of age and 0.22% onwards. 5% production attained at 25 weeks and hatching eggs are started to be collected at 27 weeks of age. Culling age was at 68 weeks. On productivity, GP, we will be producing 45 PS produced per hen house, PS 125 DOC per hen house. On imported hatching eggs, for GP female line hatching eggs, imported hatching eggs, for GP female line female hatching eggs, I assume 4.12 hatching eggs to produce one female line female GP. For PS female line hatching eggs, assume 3.32 eggs needed to produce one female PS. For the terminal hatching eggs, a clean hatch of 80% to produce broiler DOC. Making use of the said assumptions, the production supply outlook are as follows. We start with the parent stock production and availability outlook. This production outlook considered the PS brought in from January to May of this year, as well as the PS produced from GPs that was brought in this year till May. Parent stocks brought in from March will significantly contribute in the production of broilers the year 2023. In principle, parent stock production and availability till February determines the DOC and broiler production for the year 2023. Parent stock availability from June 2022 onwards will still be influenced by the parent stock that will be brought in as DOC or hatching eggs. The reason the graphic presentation is in a broken line, meaning that the volume mentioned may still change. Broiler production outlook in the year 2022 in the early 2023. Made use in the calculation parent stocks availability till September of this year to get an idea of broiler availability in the early 2023. Showing you the production supply outlook of DOC broilers for 2022 and an indication in the first trimester of 2023. Broiler production supply in 2022 can change if there are additional terminal hatching eggs, PS and GP hatching eggs that will be placed in June onwards that will add up to the production starting August. In this production outlook, production of broilers in 2022 is less than the production of 2021 and 2020 by 3.3% and 4.5% respectively. By 3.3% and 4.5% respectively. We had the pandemic situation, hence might not be a good reference on production. If you would recall, we had faced an oversupply situation that year that producers of DOC have resorted to early cull of their breeders in the second semester of 2020 to cut their production. If we are to use the broiler production in 2019, being a pre-pandemic year, and compare it with the production in the year 2022, total production in the year 2022 is 8% higher than the year 2019. The 8% increase in production is not evenly distributed in the year 2022. If you are to look at the numbers in this production outlook, we started the first quarter with an average production increase of 20% as compared to 2019, but the second semester showed a big decrease in production, but in the last quarter, we have a negative increase in production. If we are to assume a yearly increase of 5% per year from the volume of 2019, we need to have a production increase of about 16% in the year 2022, considering the economy that was disrupted by the COVID pandemic. Yet better in the latter part of year 2021, as market opened up with lesser restrictions with regards to the pandemic. We are just discussing here the number of broilers that will be available, but not the tonnage of broilers that is to be harvested. Looking at the problems we are currently experiencing with regards to, for example, diseases like inclusion body hepatitis or fowl adenovirus, avian influenza, Newcastle disease, and others, and concerns on raw material affecting feed quality that might have lowered productivity in terms of total harvested weight in the farm, and concerns on raw material feed quality that might have lowered productivity in terms of total harvested weight of broilers in the farms. Importing broiler hatching eggs could be a solution, just like in 2021, wherein we imported 22 million broiler hatching eggs, but sourcing of broiler hatching eggs is a concern because of the situation brought about by avian influenza in almost all countries that we normally source out such broiler hatching eggs. This is also true for poultry meat. Let me share with you other relevant data on poultry meat importation and inventories. Highlighted are the countries that export considerable volumes of poultry meat into the country that is not allowed at the moment. Countries like Belgium, Canada, Netherlands, and the USA. As you would see, there is a decrease in the volume of poultry importation this year due to the incidence of avian influenza in the exporting countries. As of May 30, 2022 inventory update, it showed a 30% total reduction of inventory of poultry the same period of last year, 21,000 metric tons from last year's 31,000 metric tons. Local poultry inventory is 43% lower as compared to the same period last year. Summary highlights of the broiler industry. Indication of tight supply, reduced availability of locally produced poultry balance of the year at early 2023. Better prices of broilers looking at the local supply situation and better economic activity as compared to the last 2 years. Usual solution to correct the problem might not be easily available, like importation of broiler hatching eggs, to add into the local production as well as the importation of poultry. Factors affecting efficient broiler production needs to be addressed to help increase our broiler output. Diseases, raw material quality, and other quality concerns. A scenario of a very tight poultry meat supply. Let's go now to the layer production output. Made use of the same BAI reported data on the importation recorded as PS layer in BAI's report. It is the leftmost part of the report identified as PS layer. They come in as live breeder parent stocks as well as in the form of hatching eggs to produce layer parent stock females. In 2022, as from the month of May, PS importation is equivalent to 103,000 compared to 283,000 same period of last year. From 2018 to 2021, the average increase of layer parent stock placement was 19%. This year, 2022, the planned volume to be imported is 6% lower than the year 2021 at 638,000 PS, but this does not include the import plans of some farms who imported parent stocks the previous year. Some historical information gathered on the per capita consumption of eggs in the Philippines. KG data, 4.3 kilograms per capita in 2017, corresponding to 77 pieces of eggs. Same data, same source of data, 4.56 kilograms per capita in 2018, or corresponding 82 pieces of eggs, and an increase of 6.26%. From Statista, reported 9.2% growth of egg production, 90 pieces or 5 kilograms of eggs per capita in 2019, with a note that the country has significantly increased production the last 5 years Reference is the 6.26% of HG in 2018. We go now to the layer assumptions. For both parent stock and commercials, assumption on the production that was used was 7% depletion at 18 weeks of age and 0.15 week onwards till culling of the flock. 5% production attained at 19 weeks of age, and for parent stocks, hatching eggs starting to be collected at 21 weeks of age. For parent stocks, assume DOP production per hen house of 99 heads at the culling age of 75 weeks. For commercials, assume table egg production of 414 table eggs produced per hen house at 100 weeks of age of culling. For imported parent stock female hatching eggs, made use of a yield of 28 to 30% to produce one female parent stock, or 3.33 to 3.57 female PS hatching eggs to produce one female parent stock. Making use of the said assumptions, the DOP production is as follows. Assuming all the 99 DOP per hen house was placed, DOP production in the year 2022 will be at 56.3 million, which is an increase of 20% as compared to the volume of DOP produced in the year 2021. In 2021, the increase in DOP production was at 11.5% from the estimated production of 47 million DOP. From year 2020's estimated DOP production of 42.2 million, which was absorbed by the market as a lot expanded and new egg farmers came in, especially those that cheated from the swine industry. From August 2021 to December 2021, DOP production increased by 25% as compared to the same period in 2020. 21.9 million as compared to 17.5 million, an increase of 4.4 million. This increase in DOP production continued this year 2022, that on the first semester of 2022, DOP production increase is on an average of 47.5% as compared to the first semester of the year 2021. The monthly increase ranging from 37% to 53%. Because of several possible reasons, a number of these DOPs might have not been produced or placed for production. Some reasons could be cutback in production by DOP producers, having no buyer or being priced below cost of production, which is also true for ready-to-lay bullets. Diseases that might have affected the breeders. Threat of diseases, thus decision to depopulate a breeder flock. Logistic concerns on delivering the DOP or RTL to their clients. Feed-related and other problems that have reduced the productivity of the breeders. Government or LGU demand that make it difficult for producers to sell their DOPs or RTL and to continue to operate. These are some of the reasons why there could be a reduced DOP placement the past months. I would like to emphasize that we are now in the situation that DOP production is on the downward trend due to parent stock not being placed. We might be facing a different situation in the next few months. Low supply of DOP because of the difficulty of sourcing layer parent stocks due to AI incidences in most countries. As of the month of May, a corresponding volume of only 103,000 parent stocks has been placed as compared to the 283,000 PS that came in the same period in the year 2021. It is highly possible that the targeted placement of 638,000 for the year 2022 might not be met. DOP production or availability in the second semester of this year is on the downward trend that from this outlook, by the month of November or even earlier, because of the non-placement of breeders combined by the probable early culling of already placed breeders, DOP placement will be less as compared to the previous years. Breeder parent stock should start to come in soonest to prevent the declining DOP production. Take note of the DOP production trend if parent stock breeders will not come in. DOP production and availability will be in its lowest level the last 5 years. Let's now have a look at the table egg production availability again, with the assumption that it was raised in 100 weeks and productivity per hen house of 414 pieces of eggs. Table egg production potential following the 414 eggs produced per commercial PS at 100 weeks of culling would reach 16.5 billion pieces of eggs, or a potential per capita consumption of 168 eggs, or 9.33 kilograms. This is a 14% increase from the year 2021, with an estimated production or consumption of 147 eggs, or 8.16 kilos of eggs per capita. As compared to the year 2020, where we had 144 produced or 68 kilos per capita, population use is 105 million Filipinos. There is a big possibility that the production of table eggs in the year 2021 and 2022 is lower than the projected number indicated this production output, but cannot be determined as we don't have an idea of the effect or the measures employed to cut back table egg production in the year 2021 and in the year 2022. As of today and several weeks back, diseases and the threat of it has resulted for a number of layer farmers, breeder farms, and table egg producers to early cull the layers to a point that some of the players completely depopulated their layer stocks to stop, minimize, prevent more losses. Such developments have brought prices of table eggs in certain areas in Luzon to increase tremendously. Talking now about the layer outlook this year and early 2020. A slight 2% increase per capita in the year 2021 was basically a 5% increase in the second semester of the year, which already caused prices of eggs to decrease. The first trimester of the year 2022 showed an increase on production of 6.3%, which did not bring up the egg prices. In 2022, 21 pieces increase of egg production per capita, or an increase of 14.6% as compared to 21. This volume is creating what seems to be a glut situation. Production on a monthly basis in the year 2022 is increasing from 5.5% in January to a high of 26% in December 2022. First trimester of 2023 shows an average increase from the 2022 volume by 27%. Current concerns on diseases, scare of farms being infected, losses because of the low egg prices that is below cost of production, has created a situation that total egg production as compared to projection is bound to decrease. Only a question of how much reduction on egg production it would be. Restrictions on the movement of poultry and poultry products will affect prices in the different areas. Market to correct by itself, but looking at the potential DOP shortages, correction might take some time. Overall situation on the control of diseases will be a factor for the layer industry to be back on track. We just have to be vigilant that when the delivery of parent stock resumes, we bring in parent stocks that will not create again a DOP oversupply situation. Prices of table eggs in areas where commercial layer stocks have been significantly reduced will have good profitable prices. A rebound is to be expected when placement of layer parent stocks are back to normal and of the volume of PS placed that is just right.